Now, Botswana has a reputation for political stability, democracy, sound economic management, and good governance. It's a view shared by international financial institutions, Freedom House and Transparency International, and even academics. So what makes Botswana tick and what challenges does it face? For some insight, I'm joined today by David Newman, Botswana's ambassador to the United States. Ambassador Newman, welcome to Africa 54. It's a delight to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So first we have to make it clear, you're Botswana's ambassador to the United States.
To the United States,
many people look at
not
you
the other way around. A mistake has been made before.
Yeah, but again, that tells us about the story of Botswana, right?
It does.
Yes.
Very much so. Our country, our founding fathers were concerned to create a multiracial society. Of course, all around us there wasn't a multiracial society. Indeed, there was a belief that a multiracial society in Africa couldn't exist. Yeah. And I think our first president was one of his main missions as president was to show that it could exist, and indeed that is why our flag reflects the black and the white of racial harmony, and I'm an example of a product
beautiful,
of that.
That's beautiful. Now, the country has continued to enjoy this reputation of being very progressive, economically stable, has resources, its national and natural resources really well managed. What has been the blueprint, or what was the blueprint that has ensured particularly economic growth, progress, and political stability?
Yeah, you're right that Botswana is richly endowed with natural resources, but again, many other countries, not only in Africa but beyond, are as well. But what have we managed to do to, in fact, get the right recipe, if you like? And I think one of the key reasons is that there's always been a belief from day one that those resources belonged to the people of the country and to future generations, that whether it was in 1967 when diamonds were discovered, or 2016, 50 years later, as we celebrate 50 years of independence, it's premised on the belief that we are mere custodians, and that the benefits that are obtained from those resources must go into the development of the country. And that is indeed what has transpired.
Yeah, which is admirable, because in many African countries, those resources tend to benefit those in the ruling class. Now, we know that Botswana has perhaps one of the best social safety networks. It has apportioned quite a big chunk of its budget, national budget, to making sure everybody enjoys a good life. But still, we do get reports that there's some in Botswana who really live in extreme poverty, especially those who live in the rural areas. What is it that Botswana has not been able to do to make sure that everybody, it's a population of about 2 million people, has a good life and does not live in poverty?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment to make, that great strides have been taken to spread the wealth that has been obtained across the board, but there are challenges. We are a country of 2.2 million people, but we're also a country the size of Texas. So there are a lot of fairly remote communities, lacking obviously basic infrastructure, electricity, access to water. And these are some of the challenges that we are looking to.
Now, with diverse resources, how is it that the country hasn't managed actually to resolve those issues over this time?
Well, every country has challenges, and every country has priorities as well. Poverty alleviation is one that we are aware of, we're working on, and the inequality that exists. The vast majority of the citizens of the country have benefited, but there are those who are still falling through the cracks, and it is a priority that the government is working on.
Now, we talk about Botswana, we always talk about diamonds, but diamonds may be forever, but they may not exist or be found in Botswana forever. What is the country doing to ensure that it diversifies?
Retail branding of diamonds are forever. We are aware that they are finite. Fortunately, we believe that with new reserves discovered as well, that the lifespan will continue for longer than was expected at one stage. So there's no immediate concern, but nevertheless, it's an area that the government has been focusing on to diversify beyond the diamond sector. Not beyond the mineral sector, there are other minerals there, but beyond the diamond sector as well. And that's an area that we are focusing on, and really to create job. We have a growing youth, as Africa does across the board, and we have an educated youth as well. And as you rightly mentioned earlier, that much of our budget goes into education and to public health. As a result, people are living longer. And in terms of mortality rates in childbirth and for under fives, it has come right down as well. So these are challenges. They're good challenges to have in the sense that we have a growing population, but we need to find employment for them, and that's the area that we are trying to focus on.
Thank you. And now, well, Botswana still enjoys a reputation of being a very democratic country. It has continued having regular elections that kind of seem to be peaceful, but the opposition has, over time, including the last election, complained of being harassed. In fact, there was even a death of the opposition member, Gamilon Mochwaledi, which was seen almost as suspicious. Now, how do you describe the current situation in terms of the participation of the opposition in election?
Right. I won't dwell on that one particular issue, but I think that was a conspiracy theory. It was a natural motor accident, and nothing more has come years later from the investigations that were carried out there. But the point is, I think that the opposition has a voice in terms of the media, in terms of the print media. For example, generally those are controlled by the opposition parties in the main. So, and the opposition parties actually did well in the last elections, and increased the number of representatives within Parliament. So,
that's good. Very quickly, you sit in a region where there is fairly political concerns in some of those countries. How can Botswana play a critical role, a vital role in influencing the countries in the neighborhood? You're talking about South Africa, you're talking about Zimbabwe and others. Yeah,
this is a very important issue going forward, because the strength of Botswana, and indeed other countries within the SADC region, the 15 countries of SADC, it's based on regional integration, regional industrialization. We can't go it alone. We really need to be creating an EU within Southern Africa, and to strengthen those relationships, to work across boundaries, whether it's in relation to our natural resources, whether it's in relation to economic issues. That is the future, and that's one area that I think we are trying to focus on with a number of our neighbors as well, to have value added. Our diamond industry being one, as you know, that previously it was an extractive industry. Now the diamond trading company has moved from London, set up in Botswana, so now we have cutting, polishing, jewelry manufactured within the country, within the region. It's those sort of initiatives that I think have proved successful, strong partnerships that we're looking to grow with our neighbors.
Well, Ambassador Newman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your perspectives and insights. Well, that's Ambassador David Newman, of the Republic of Botswana to the United States.